This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So good evening, guys. So let us start with the session. So today we'll be just starting with our regular demo, and we're just covering few of the topics and the schedule how we're going to plan the session. That I have already discussed. Maybe some of you have been already joined, but there are already new members are there. So we'll take this opportunity just to introduce myself to each one of you, so that you are also comfortable. And when we are, then I'll start with a few of the demo sessions, like what you can expect from the Dynamics 365 FNO technical, and what will be the course duration, what will be the course content, and what you can actually go and expect from the course. So that will be the agenda for the day. And if someone has already joined the previous demo sessions, I believe some of you have already have, but there will be some topics which are similar to that, because I'll be just going through the regular demo slides, and we'll be discussing few of the common topics, because some of us have newly joined. I would just want to address to all of you. So, and from tomorrow we'll be just start with the regular sessions and with the regular curriculum. So if we are fine with that, so let us go and start with today's session. So before introducing myself, I just like to have a few information from your side also. So I believe close to 15-20 members are here, I can see. So all of you, are you working now, and some of you are students also? So if you, some of you can just respond over the chat, or some can you just respond over the call, that would be good, so that I have a expectation from the batch that okay, the way I can speed up the things, and or the way I can just maybe some of us can just do some quick learning, or some of you cannot do some quick learning, and how good you are with the object oriented programming, because from the technical side we'll need some of those informations. So if you can just speak up on the call, that would be great, or rather if you can just write in the chat, that also works for me.
Hi Maitra, this is Nagendra.
Yes.
I am working as a software developer under the C Sharp. So I
Mhm.
have already hands-on experience with Power BI, Visual Studio, SQL, web APIs, web services, everything. So I want to uh, add more inputs on my resume. So I want to learn more about of AX technical. So I'm already working and I know the basics, OOPs and everything. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. I am seeing some of the comments over the chat that some of you are maybe working, which is fine. Some of you can be student, which is also fine. Okay, so we are designing the course in a way that any of you, if you are working or if you're going for advanced, like Nagendra has some already some work experience in object-oriented programming. So both all of you can just equally participate in the course, and no one is feeling left alone, or you will not be feeling that it will be like a too difficult course to handle, so that I want everyone to take part in it. So now coming into the different uh, aspects of the course, I'll be coming to that, but before going into that, let me just introduce myself. So myself Tathagat Mehta. So I have completely close to 10 years of work experience into Microsoft Dynamics. So I did engineering and I started my career into Microsoft Dynamics. So right now, currently, I am working as a both like a techno-functional consultant and have done lot of projects across industries. And a good part of ERP, I'd say, with my experience, I can tell that you will be able to go deep into different industry. And if you have that lack or if you have that knack of getting knowledge from different industries, so if you have started as a developer, maybe some of the understanding of the businesses will not come to you directly. But if you have progressed in career, maybe after 2 3 years of development, you can take part in different discussions and work as also contribute as a functional consultant. So that can actually help you to grow in your career. So if you are working as a, both as a technical and functional, because if you are working only as a technical, if you are working good, if you know how to develop, customize, do the coding in a better way, but with experience, everyone wants you to contribute in other aspects of the project. And right now, Dynamics 365 projects are quite huge. It is not related to only small companies. It is actually being uh, taken by different big companies, large retail companies, large manufacturing companies. So you will have a lot of scope of knowing different aspects so that you can also contribute in those aspects. I'll come to that later, but this is from my experience, I can tell you. So this is how the project and everything works. Now coming to the experience and everything, so I have, as I explained, I have close to 10 years experience and I've worked in a lot of different kind of projects, domestic and also international. uh, I started my career into from consulting actually. So I started my career from a big four consulting, and then I moved to like a large IT consulting. So as I started my career from big four, so I had the experience of working for Indian clients also. So domestic market, we have done a lot of projects, and then I moved to other big clients for other countries. So if you're working in a IT company, or if you know most of your friends or your relatives of your brothers, sisters, they work in for some, maybe for some US, UK customers or some European customers. But there are good projects in India also, because there are a lot of customers also buying Dynamics 365 ERP also. Now let us go and just I'll just brief out what will be the course and how what you can actually expect from the course. So coming into the course, this will be close to 1.5 month or close, yeah, I'd say 1.5 month, maybe maybe more than that. The course duration will be like that, and we'll be covering all the technical aspects of the Dynamics 365 if you know. So we'll start with the basics, what the changes are in Dynamics 365, what has been changed from the previous version, what are the capabilities in Dynamics 365, and then we'll go and deep dive into all the aspects. So if I say all the aspects, I'd say that I just simply start with all the technical aspects. So from the very basic to the advanced. So by advanced, I mean there are complex things like maybe SSRS report, integrations, web services, and then there can be data management framework. All these are, I would say, from a beginner's point of view, can seem bit complex, but if you have some experience, working experience, it might you might feel that okay, this is like a cakewalk. It is not that difficult also. So you can feel in that way. Now coming back to the course duration, so it will be, as I said, it will be a 1.5 months, and I'll be starting from the very basic, and then I'll be moving into the advanced topics. So from the basic, I mean there are concepts of data structure, data entities, and then I'll be moving into complex things of Dynamics 365 coding. Now, coming into that, if you do not know coding, if you do not have any experiences object-oriented programming, I'd not say that you are in a advantageous position. I do not lie to you, but you can learn it because the coding language is into object-oriented programming, and you at least have to have some knowledge on that. Because when I'll be moving into the deeper part of the training, technical training, you will need some bit of information where you can just go and do some hands on it, right? So if you are doing all those trainings from my side, if and I'm just giving you all those lectures, I will also expect that you can have some knowledge in it, so that you are also be familiar with all the concepts. So I'll guide you how to go about it, how to approach it, and then you can easily go and build on it. This is from the course aspect point of view, so what you can expect, and what you and the course material and all those things we'll be discussing over the call, and we'll also be showing it into our in the call, and I'll just show you how to go about it. Now coming back to the other aspect, which is a practice. So I feel that if I just only lecturing you over the course, it is not going to help you. So I like to go and do the hands-on at the same time. Maybe for the first few classes, you will not see those hands-on, because obviously I need to just build something, right? And then I can go and do the hands-on from that. So once we are building on it, I'll expect you to just pay attention to that, and then when I'm just going and showing you from the Dynamics 365 ERP itself, we'll see how it looks, how the development structure is, and what you have to do. From the practice point of view, another point, you do not need to pay anything more. We have free option where you can go and just directly access a Dynamics 365 VM online, and you can easily access it for 2 hours. And there is an option which I will show you in the class also, where you can just go and simply download a VM and create a virtual machine in your own laptop. And there are some prerequisites in it. I was actually discussing that in the demo class itself. I'll just write it down in the chat. So if you have a laptop which meets those prerequisites, you can simply download a virtual machine in your own laptop, and you will be able to play with the dynamics anytime in your machine. If your laptop doesn't meet those requirements, then also it is fine. There another option is you can borrow a laptop from your friend or from some family members. If it is also not available, then I would suggest you can go and avail the option of using the online virtual machine, which you can use for 2 hours. And that is, I would say, very good option, because I genuinely show from that, because sometimes my project laptop or work laptop is not supporting, and I need some resources to work on, so that I don't switch on the VM too often, because I can just show you from the virtual machine, online virtual machine itself. So whatever I want to show you, it doesn't stop you from learning. Okay. Yeah, Faiz, just to answer your question, okay, I'll just take the questions later, because I know you will have a lot of questions. So let me just go through this basic introduction, then I'll take some questions, and then we'll start with the presentation and what is a thing that is Dynamics 365 about. Now this is from the, I have explained what you can expect from the course and from the environment itself. Coming back to the classes, so we'll be having the evening classes. So I believe the Visualpath team has already informed you on that. So evening we'll be spending 1 hour or more than 1 hour most of the days. There can be some days where I'm bit stuck at work, and it can start a bit 5-10 minutes late, which happens with all of us. You can also join later, and that is why the courses will be recorded, so that you can go and check the courses later if you're missing on any of the classes. But later, as I have taken a lot of classes and I have that experience, so that is why I'm telling you upfront one thing. If you are taking the course, and if you feel that I'd learn everything just by looking into the uh, videos, and I do not need any help, uh, I feel that you should attend the class, at least 80% of the classes, the important classes. And whenever I speak on something, whatever I'll do tomorrow, I'll be telling you upfront. So tomorrow's course and what is the importance of it, I'll tell you upfront. So that if something is not maybe relevant to you, if you feel that okay, maybe I can skip it and tomorrow I'll have a video and I'll just go and see it, that you can do. But some of the key classes you can actually attend with me. Reasons being, if you are looking at the sessions just from the videos, it is fine, completely fine. You will see what I am explaining, and if you're in the class, I will explain the same thing. But what happens, some point, if you feel there is a question that which can come to your mind by looking at the videos, then maybe I'll not be available at that time to answer your question at that time. You can connect to me later, maybe through emails or through chat or something, but at the same time I'll not be available at that point. So that is why I feel just go and at least attend all the classes so that we all are in the same page of the learning aspect. And trust me, when you will have the course, you will feel that I give ample amount of time for each of the tables, because there is some key concepts related to coding, tables, data structure. I spend at least 2 to 3 days for each topic. Okay, so that you are not feeling that it can be a bit complex, and those way. So I you just to give you an example, so there is something called for the data structure, there's something called a table where you store the data. So whoever has done a bit of coding, you must know about what is a table. So to discuss about the table, that is one of the most important topic. I spend at least 3 days, because there are a lot of aspects of a table. And if you want to build your career into dynamics, you have to know few things related to table, correct? And going forward, if you are appearing for some interviews or some calls for changing career or just going into dynamics, then you need to answer few of the important basic things which the interviewer will expect from you, and table is one of them. So that is why I spend quite a few time on that, so that you will be feeling over the call, so that whatever you are actually expecting, so those expectations will be met. Now I'll just open up the session for questions. Do you have any?
Hello,
Classes will
hello.
be on daily basis.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Maitra. Sorry to interrupt. You said the session will be available for 2 hours, right? So that VM was separate for each and everyone, or for all the users, it was only one VM?
It is separate for each and everyone.
One will be available for 45 days, our course period of time.
No, that online virtual machine is available for 2 hours. So what you have to do whenever you are accessing that environment, whatever you are developing, you are customizing, you have to take the backup of it. And whenever you are done with that, you can store that backup in some of your Gmail or Google Drive or OneDrive. And whenever you open it again, you can download it and you can start using it. That is the first option. The second option, if you are creating that VM in your local machine, then you can just simply go use it anytime in your laptop, from your laptop.
Okay.
Hello. Hello, Mosik. Would you provide environment for practice?
No, just to answer your question first, no, I'll be not. So I'll be showing you how to access the environment, and those are the softwares and those are the environments which you can just download in your local machine, or you can access from online.
Okay. There we can practice. Sorry.
Can you repeat the question first again?
On VM we can practice it.
No, not any VM. We have to download from a specific place, and some of the specific folders we have to download. That I'll show you over the course.
I am working as a PLC developer. I am BTech graduate in civil engineering. So would it the right course for me? Because I don't have more idea about coding, but I know overview of object-oriented programming by
Uh,
YouTube.
don't worry on that, Paz. I am also an instrumentation electronics engineer. I was not born with a basic C++ knowledge, so I also learned over my career. So it is not that it will be stopping you from doing.
Would you provide
Need
interview schedule?
I would need you to spend some.
Interview for switch?
Do I arrange? No, I do not arrange anything. I can just guide you what you can expect from the uh, questions. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is Naveen. May I know the topics that you are going to teach, like how depth
Yes,
is the
yes, yes.
technical portion?
Yes, that I will be discussing just after a couple of minutes. Yes.
Okay.
Uh, if possible, could you please share the system requirements in the chat?
Yes, I'll be definitely. I'll just spell it out now, and I'll also write it over the chat. So the first requirement is you have to have a laptop which has at least 16 GB of RAM. Second requirement, you should have a Windows Professional or Enterprise version license, right?
Okay,
So
16 GB
yeah,
RAM and Windows Professional. Continue.
yeah, Professional or Enterprise license. These two are the basic prerequisites.
Okay.
Hey, what the schedule looks like? It's going to be the same time always at this time.
Yes, we are going to continue on the same time every day. Yes.
Micah, do you have material?
Can you repeat?
No, I mean to say, do you provide material, some kind of
Uh,
document?
Over the course, I'll be showing you from some material, and throughout the course, I'll be sending you emails just to read the reading materials and everything. Those are mostly Microsoft links, which I'll be sharing with you. And apart from that, regular maintenance, yeah, based on demand, definitely some of the key aspects I need from presentations, from exercise workflows, those concepts I'll be sharing you documents because there are few things which you need some framework to build on, right? And those frameworks I'll be definitely providing you. From the daily course, if you are just saying, okay, how can I learn mostly from tables, what is table, and all those things I'll be showing you over the call. If you need, I can just share those, but I can also share you few of the links which you can just get help from. Okay, so if I just quickly go through the chat history, and if there are other questions, and then I'll move on to the next
Sorry,
part.
is it
Micah, sorry to ask you. Do you provide any content of the course? Not to
Uh,
refer
uh,
how it will
yes,
be.
I just answered that, Raju. So yeah, over the course, I'll be sharing few of the links, and based on demand and also based on the criticality of the topic, I'll be sharing few of the documents. Yes. So any other questions? And Naveen, do you want to ask anything?
yeah. So is it processor should be Intel only, or can it be more just
Okay.
a AMD
Processor,
Ryzen processor also?
any processor works. Any processor works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
one more
and
thing,
it should
one
be
other.
compulsory professional.
Naveen, just I'll just cut you short here. So one other prerequisite is I'll just spell it out here directly. So at least have 100 or 120 GB of hard disk space because the files you want to download, it will consume almost 90 to 95 GB of your hard disk space.
Okay, noted.
So these three are, you can say, as a prerequisite for installing the virtual machine. Do you have any other questions, or should I move to the other part?
Yeah, can move on.
Yeah, one more thing, just drop your emails over the chat so that I can just contact you for any other reference and any other material. So that is a necessary step. Please follow that. Okay, now moving into the different topics. Okay, now I'll just go through the part of Microsoft Dynamics as in ERP, what you can expect from that, and how it has evolved over the time, right? So let me just go and share my screen on that. Okay, some of you have attended already the sessions, so I believe you have already seen the slide, but it's better just to have a brief rundown on it again, and I can just show you what you can expect from the course. Okay. Now, when I talk about Dynamics 365 as a ERP, so it is was actually launched as something called as AX7, and then it Microsoft changed it to Dynamics 365, and right now it is one of the largest ERPs in the world. So when I say enterprise resource planning, so just from layman's term, just think of a solution which actually integrates all the different aspects of a business. So let's say if you have in your locality you have a kirana shop, right? So what you see that whoever is managing that kirana shop, what he does, he receives all the items, soap, shampoo, everything from his suppliers, right? He actually goes and put all those things into the shelves, and he manages in a way that whatever is actually nearing expiry, those items are put into the first row of the shelf, so that he can release those items, and he can clear those inventory which are nearing expiry, right? And then he sells those items to us, and also he manages the finances. So he keeps a log book or somewhere where he manages, okay, this is the purchase what we have done for the day, and this may be my purchases, total purchases. So this is a very small scale, I would say, a planning where he is managing all the aspects of the business. So now just compare this thing to a big large retail shop. So compare this to a DMart. So if you go to a DMart, you will see there are close to 1300, I think, no, not 1300, maybe 147 different DMart shops over five districts, over the 5 states in India, right? Now, if you see the volume of the products over a DMart shop, and if you go and try to buy something, you have a process. The process is you go to the shelf, you pick that thing, you go to the counter, you stand in a line, he scans the item, and then only you can go and buy that with a bill which is given to you. Now, at the back end, if you feel, what are the things which is happening? You as a customer have the access to go to the store and pick the items, correct? Because there are millions of items in a DMart store. And when you pick an item, there is a barcode enabled it, and that item is getting scanned, and you are able to buy that item, right? And all the transactions are getting stored. For a small scale kirana shop, if someone is managing the operation on a day-to-day basis, he doesn't need to have those things in place because he has very limited items, maybe 50 different type of products, right? And maybe 1000 stocks. But for a DMart, one store, they are maintaining millions of products, millions of type of products, and also millions of stocks. So to manage those, we need something very robust which can have uh, a capability which can integrate all the different aspects of a business. And what are those aspects, which I actually explained from the example of the kirana shop. So what does procurement also, because DMarts also gets the item from different FMCG companies, Marico, HUL, all the PNG, all the products they are buying from their distributors, and they are storing those items into their first inventory, and then they are bringing to the shops. And also they are managing all the customers and the finances, because you are getting a bill, that transactions is getting loaded. So if you feel that there are so many aspects of the businesses are interconnected in a shop or in a retail store like DMart. So it starts with your maybe customer management, where you go and buy it. That when you're buying it, a sales order is created. From that sales order, a transaction is getting created, and which reduces the item from the inventory, because maybe there are 100 different soaps available in the DMart, and you are buying 5 of them. So it is actually reducing the inventory, and that actually, when it is being reduced, that actually creates a demand in their warehouse, that okay, my maybe some body lotion is getting reduced, and I need to fulfill again, refill those body lotions or some soaps or some detergents, right? Those, so this planning and all these things are being monitored through a system what we call as ERP, or enterprise resource plan, right? So this is the core concept of ERP. uh, so this actually evolved from Europe, I would say, from Germany, and it actually evolved from manufacturing companies, because the manufacturing companies, they have a large requirement of storing the materials, creating the product, selling that product. Maybe they did not have a store or point of sale application, but they have a requirement of manufacturing everything and do the costing and accounting. So these are the two most important aspects of ERP: accounting and reporting. So whenever I say that we need to do an accounting, so that every ERP must have a robust accounting system backing it. Otherwise, you are not going to buy it. The reason being, all the aspects of the business, whenever they are interacting with each other, it should create proper accounting entries in your system. If it doesn't, then the purpose of ERP fails. So as I said, the primary purpose when you are implementing something, it is the core accounting and also the reporting of the ERP. So that is the most important concept of ERP. Now you can say that most of the companies, they can have different system for different applications. So there are most of the organization in right now in world for human resource management, from a resource onboarding to the exit of the resource, they use something called as ServiceNow, correct? So what ServiceNow you can access so many systems, not ServiceNow, it's called Workday, my bad. So ServiceNow is getting used for managing all the services for the organization. So this ServiceNow, Workday, all these applications are actually catering to a specific need of the organization. So which is what? Which is maybe human resource management or service management. But for finances, someone can use a application called SAP, which is an ERP. Or for procurement, someone use a application from Oracle. If you are buying all those applications, so there are a lot of cost involved with it, right? Because you have to maintain the licenses, you have to, when you're onboarding the users, you have to buy those licenses year on a year basis, and that actually increases your operational cost significantly. So you need something which actually caters to all the aspects of your business, and that is where ERP comes in. So which can actually help you to manage all the different aspects of your business, be it from customer relationship management to the core concept of finance. So I hope that is clear. Now coming back to the most important one, how Microsoft Dynamics is actually helping the customers and what are the different capabilities of Microsoft Dynamics. So if I go to the next slide, when the ERP started, so the three largest ERPs of the world are SAP, or what we call as SAP. Second is Oracle Business Suite, and the third is Microsoft Dynamics, or what we call as Dynamics 365. So with the Dynamics 365, the previous versions, if you see at the screen, there are two old versions which have been. So if you just ignore the first one, which is the 2009 one, which is an older version, I'd say. The 2012 version is a much more, I'd say, latest version, because there are so many clients over the world are using the 2012 version. And also the Dynamics 365 version, which is the right hand corner, you can see that is the latest one. Now if you see the different aspects of the ERP, the old version was actually a Windows based application, and the new version, which is the Dynamics 365 version, is a web based application. So that is actually hosted over a cloud. What is cloud, how a cloud is actually helping Dynamics 365, that I'll come to later. But just remember, the version which we will be learning, the technical aspects, everything, I am referring to Dynamics 365 for operations, which is this one. Now let us discuss something on cloud, because that actually helped Dynamics 365 or the previous versions to grow big and to compete with all the large ERPs. With the cloud, with the help of cloud, all this concept of cloud I'll explain in the later course, but I'll just assume right now that we have something called cloud, and Microsoft Dynamics is an application which is hosted over cloud. So with the help of cloud, what happened previously in the older versions, Dynamics, the older version, the 2012 version, it was a Windows based application. So what do I mean by that? You have your laptop, if you want to install a software, what do? You go to Google Chrome, you just type the name of the software, you get an option download now. You click on that and that application gets downloaded in your laptop, and you run it, right click, run as administrator, and you run that exe file, which is that executable file, and that software gets installed in your machine. The Dynamics 2012 or the older version were exactly similar to it. It was like an executable file. You have to download it. Once you download it, that file gets installed, and that consumes the space in your local laptop. So that you understand now, if there is a big application, if you have to maintain a lot of RAM, lot of storages, all those different aspects was have to be maintained, and the responsibility was lying with the customer. Because today, if you are having 100 members in your organization, and after 2 years you have grown and you have maybe 300 employees in your computer organization, do you feel that 100 employees, if you're using one system, one large ERP complex system, and 300 members are using it with the same resources? By resources I mean by the RAM, the hard disk space, and all the system setup, everything, will it perform in the same way? The answer is obviously no. We need to scale up all those things. So that is the most important thing, that in the older versions, all the responsibility or the onus, what we said, the onus was lying with the customers, that they have to go and maintain it, maintain all the system requirements, all the setups and everything. But with the advent of cloud, it is not with the customers anymore. The project Microsoft is actually maintaining this scaling up or all the resources, hardwares, everything, because we are just paying for whatever we are using. That is the concept of cloud, that it is pay as you use. So whatever we are using, we are paying for that. If there are 100 users, we'll pay for that. If there are 400 users, we'll pay for that. And at the back end, how Microsoft is managing for those 400 users, that is not in our code. That ball is not in our code. That is Microsoft responsibility. They are going to manage that. So that the main headache of maintaining a big IT team who is going to manage the resources, everything, that headache is not with the customers anymore, so that they can simply go and pay. That is the core concept of cloud. Now coming back to the different technical aspects, integration, reporting, all these things, mostly that has been, some of the part has been changed. SSRS reporting, Power BI, those things were also previously there. Right now it is more advanced or more enhanced. Integration side, previously we were only using AIF and DIXF integration, but right now we have DIXF is data import export framework. That data import export, uh, also the JSON integration, how we connect with SOAP and all those things has been more defined. And also we have a concept called common data service, which actually helps you to use the OData and all those things. Those are like quite new concepts right now. Those are not foolproof 100% accurately working concept, but still we can just go and learn on it, how common data service, OData integration services are basically working. And also we have mobile capabilities now. Previously also we have for few of the modules and few of the aspects, but right now the mobile capabilities are quite huge. For every work, be it a small purchase order creation or small customer management, we can go create a mobile app and we can just publish it to your Play Store or your Apple Store or iStore, and you can just simply go download it and start using it, so that you do not need to go log into your tablet or laptop and just go to the Dynamics and do this every day. You just simply need to download an app and you can simply start using it. So those capabilities are quite huge nowadays with the advent of cloud, and right now how Microsoft is selling the product. Those are, I'd say, is not relevant as of now. I'll discuss it on the later part of the course. Now coming back to the functional aspects of the dynamics, so most of the things remain same, I would say. Workflows, modeling, organization modeling, finance and compliance, all these things remain same. So the security aspects of the ERP, how finance has been enhanced, all those things are more or less same, I would say, from the Dynamics AX 2012, and if you compare with the Dynamics 365. But yes, The most important thing is the capabilities have enhanced more, because right now everything is separate and you can use only what you want. So previously, for the older versions, the licenses were actually bought by the customers, or the how it works were that whenever you have a Dynamics 2012 license, you have to buy it for the complete ERP application, correct? And now Dynamics 365, so Microsoft is saying that you can go and use it, it is fine, but it is not that everything you have to buy. Simply that, let's say if you have a small application where you are maintaining your finances and which is working fine, but if you buy a ERP in the older versions, you have to replace the finance also, correct? Everything is there, but right now Microsoft will say, okay, if it is finance is working fine, go and use that whatever you are using, but for your operations or your sales or service or field operations, if you need Dynamics 365, you can go and simply use that. So that concept has been changed completely, how the sales of the product is working, how organizations are taking everything. So there is a very catchy word, or I'd say in thing, what we call as in thing, which actually goes around the market nowadays, which is called digital transformation. So if you might have heard about the digital transformation. So when I say about digital transformation, it is like you are actually going and changing everything, your organization, all the from A to Z, everything you are producing, and if you are using everything from your machine. So that is actually what we call as digital transformation. And when I say about digital transformation, right now Dynamics 365 is actually the product which helps the organization to do that thing. So from your sales to service operations, everything can be managed through one application, and we can manage with one user login. It is not that we have to maintain different user login IDs. Now, just to understand that part, let us come to the next slide, which is the architecture part. Now, when I say about the architecture, Dynamics 365, as I said, is a cloud application, and this when the process is, I'll just quickly go through it. It is that whenever I open a Dynamics 365 application, if you are also having a Windows directory, that means, let's say your company is already using Dynamics 360, already using I'd say Microsoft Office, correct? And they're using it for emails and chat, Teams, and all those things. Now you want to buy Dynamics 365 for your FNO, for your finance and operations. Do we have to again go and create a separate user ID and all those things? The answer is no. So right now how it was, or your Windows Server directory, Active Directory, where you go and add those users, you have to migrate to your Azure Active Directory, what we call as Azure Active Directory, everything. And from that Azure Active Directory, you have to go to that Office 365 admin portal. You have to give all the users an access, and from that your user ID password will be created, and the same user ID password you can use for accessing everything. By everything I mean your finance and operations app, your life cycle services app, or your VSTS, or what we call as DevOps. So lifecycle services is nothing but is a portal which is actually helping you to manage all your Dynamics 365 um, machines, or all the Dynamics 365 resources. That is the use of lifecycle service, which is very important, and I'll be sharing that more. And also the VSTS, or what we call as DevOps. DevOps is a portal which is helps you to create the release and build pipeline and all those things. So if you are not aware of that, I'll explain later. But these are the different applications. This is how we are going to use Dynamics 365 for, right? And now coming back to the advantages, I explained all these things. Right now development environment is .NET, but coding language is called X++, which is an object oriented program. If you know C++ or SQL, it is more than enough. You can pick that up in a couple of days, which is absolutely like, if you know SQL or C++, it is like 80% similar. Some syntaxes are not there, so syntaxes are not important. I always say it is important to know where to use the code, how to use the code, and why you are writing the code. Those things are more important. Syntaxes, for like to know the syntaxes, you are not paying for the course, you are paying for just to go the core concept and how you can go and tackle a problem. That is a important thing for the course, because syntaxes you can get from Google also, but you will not, what you will not get from Google is how to approach a problem, what are the steps to approach a problem, and how can you do a customization, right? So you should be more focused on that part. Anyway, now coming back to the new, these are will be explaining lot, and let me go back to the course. So what is the expectation, what are the material for the courses? Yeah, so these are the different parts of the course. So I just quickly highlight it. What will be the descriptions actually? Yeah, so introduction, Visual Studio architecture, labels, table indexes, all these different things related to tables we'll discuss. These are basically data entities things. Labels, base enum, extended data, these are related to data entities. Table views, your queries, all these things are basically your data structure part. And then we come to the display of the data, or what we call as user interface, which is basically this part: form, menus, menu items. And then we'll be moving on to the coding part, which is your X++ part, classes, how you can do insert, delete. We'll have some business cases I will children. And one more thing, and then we'll be moving on to the most few of the advanced topics related to a security, SSRS report, and then we'll be moving to data entities, version control, web service API, package customization, deployment. Will be covering all these things. Now coming back to the course, I'll be discussing everything. So and I'll be at least spending like maybe 25 to 28 30 classes will be spending definitely. And this is what you can expect from the course. This is actually my slide, so maybe if you seeing, maybe some of the things are not exactly matching with the course material what you are seeing from the visual path, but yeah, rest assured all the core concepts, everything will be covered, and I'll tell you what you can actually expect from the course, and what should be your focus areas, because there are a lot of things when you start exploring you will understand, but your focus should be on some of the most important topics, right? So this is from the demo, and what you can expect from the course and what are the course materials. So if you have any questions, so I'll take those up, but just give me a couple of minutes. I need to just find the charger of my laptop, and I'll just quickly come back. And in the meantime, we can just you can just gather your questions, and I'll take the questions now. Hello everyone again. So I'm back from my
We can't hear you, Maitra.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. Okay. I think maybe some issues happen with the microphone. Okay. So as I was saying, do you have any further questions on the course material? What is your expectation from the course? So the platform is open. You can just go ahead and ask me on that.
Yeah, Mitra. My question was sys operation frameworks, deployment framework, and unit testing, automation tools. As such, are we going to discuss
Uh,
anything?
yeah, so sys operation framework, yes, we are going to discuss. Those are basically batch jobs. We will be covering those things, how you can create a sys operation framework classes. Uh, Automation tools, those are separate thing. Those I cannot show you because that's a separate discussion altogether, how we can download an automation tool and we can go and use that in our testing purposes. Unit testing, yes, those I'll be showing you how to do small piece of code we can do our unit testings. And apart from that, rest of the things whatever I discussed will be covered over the course.
Noted.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So, okay, so again, so thanks everyone for joining. So, uh, again, just to reiterate few of the things, I have cleared what can be your expectation from the course. This will be on Dynamics 365 FNO technical. This is not exactly catering to Dynamics 365 CRM or Dynamics 365 sales technical. That's a separate course altogether. This is Dynamics 365 FNO technical, where you will be learning the core concepts of technical from Dynamics 365 finance and operations side, what we call as the ERP part. And also some of you are asking me that regarding the, if you do not have any IT background, it is completely fine, but I would expect from your side also some cooperation, so that whatever materials I'm providing you, whatever guidance I'm giving you, you should be following that, so that you are not behind from the batch. Because if you do not have any IT background, which is fine, most of the things are actually based on logic. If you are sound on that, if you can just follow the steps which I'm telling you, you will be good. But yes, from the coding point of view, few of the concepts which I'll discussing, I would need you to spend some time on that, because if someone is already having a .NET experience, Java, or SQL experience, he or she will be in a position to grasp that knowledge very quickly. But you might not, and you feel that maybe 1 hour is not enough on that, so I would need you to just spend some time on that. So that is the only I would say prerequisite on that. Apart from that, from the course side, Yes, all the things will be covered, whatever I've shown you, and I'll be trying to cover it in maybe 1.5 month, maybe 25, 30 different classes, and I'll be sharing the plan once we start in, because we'll be starting with the basics. Configurations, then I'll be moving on to the data entities and data structure, and in the meantime I'll also show you how to access the virtual machines and how also to download the virtual machines if your laptop is meeting those criteria.
Yeah, okay, Maitra. I have one more small request like that. Once the session and once the actual classes was started, is it possible that you will share the tomorrow's agenda today only? So if we have time, obviously here I can see so many persons are working. So if we have time, we can just simply simply check in Google what it was. So theoretical we will get to know, and
Yeah,
anyhow you will show the practical, so it will very easy to us.
yeah, that's a good point actually, Nagendra. So yes, I'll be covering that on a day-to-day basis. So whatever I'll be discussing tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, I'll be letting you know one day before. And most of the topics I at least spend couple of days maybe. Some topics maybe one day, which are very framework based or which is very straightforward, but rest of the core concepts I definitely spend couple of days or maybe more than that. So you can be rest assured, so that when you are coming for a class you should know that what you are expecting from that class, so that I'll be letting you know on a day before.
Yeah, we can do some homework before that. Yes, it's an
And yeah, one
excellent one. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. One more thing, please share your email ID. So because this is not from the communication side, that is from my side actually. So I keep on sending practice exercises. I have I create those practice exercises for all of you, so that you, whenever you're doing anything, you have some material to practice on. Because if you just go search over Google, you will find most of the blogs where they are discussing on errors, how to resolve those, and all those things. You will not find something which actually can be helpful from the task point of view. That is very hard to find, and there are very few resources available like that. So that I spend at least like 8, 10 different practice exercises over the time, covering all the topics, so that, and also I'll be discussing those, so that you are actually aware of whatever uh, topics you are learning, you have some material to practice on.
Agree. I'm just sharing my email ID in the chat. And if I want to reach you, how we can reach you, either me or anyone. If we want to reach you, how we can reach that one?
As of now, let us start the course on that, and then I can share my email ID privately, and you can just not privately. I'll be sharing with all of
Ah,
you, and you can connect to me. As of now, from the communication side, I would expect you to just connect to the Visualpath team, and so that we can communicate from their side. Because if you have any specific questions from the career aspect, how you want to do it, so let us start on the course, and then you can just go ahead and ask me on that.
yeah, got it. If the session was started, you will be the trainer or some other person will join, will start?
I will be the trainer.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay, I believe we are good, and again, I believe that was an insightful
Hello,
question. Yeah,
hello,
yes,
hello,
Chetan, please.
sir. When the regular classes are going to start?
Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll be starting.
Because the last demo, I think it was before 20 days.
Yeah, there are
First demo was
some
conducted
operation,
on.
yes, some operational issues were happened in between, so that we had a delay. We don't have the delay actually, but there's some operational issues. So yeah, it will not be like that again. Happen will be again connected for demo after 20 days. By tomorrow, or maybe by day after tomorrow from Wednesday, we are starting on that.
On regular basis.
Yes, 5 days over the weekdays. No classes over the weekend. If I'm missing out on any class, I definitely take the session over the weekend, or I'll just have a discussion with all of you. We'll find a common ground on the time, and then we'll connect over weekend. If I'm missing out on a class on the weekdays, yeah, it will be 5 days a week every day.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, I believe it was an insightful course. Thanks everyone for joining and for your time, and hope to see all of you soon for the courses, and hope you can extract a good knowledge out of the course. And in the meantime, for any further communication, just go and have a contact with the Visual team, and we'll be reaching out to you, and we'll be starting the course in a day or two. So, thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Maitra. You too.